It's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you about learning and teaching. Since I came over to the UK and joined the Open University, it's been an inspiring time for me. Not only getting to grips with the culture of the UK as a whole, including its cricket, but also getting to grips with the unique culture of the Open University itself, along with an understanding of how higher education policy works both here in the UK and in Europe. As you know, the Open University is a vast and varied institution, and I've used my time here to meet as many colleagues as possible by taking part in a range of meetings, events and faculty committees. I've been chairing a fair number of governance groups, and more recently I've started on the Institutional Scrutiny Group. All this has provided me with perspective on the big challenges and the great opportunities facing the Open University. And there are plenty of them. Retention and progression for starters. Retaining our students is vitally important, especially as they now are paying more for their degrees. And what about qualifications world? How do we manage scale without reducing autonomy? And how do we react to a changing higher education landscape in which learners are flocking to open informal learning like MOOCs? We have to accept a new level of responsibility for helping and supporting students to be successful in reaching their goals, not least completing what they start. As I work on a new learning and teaching vision for 2025, I've spent time in consultation with many of you, listening to and exploring new ideas in group tuition, learning design, online versus print, assessment, open education, and how we can continue to enhance the quality of what we offer our students using tools such as learning analytics to help us understand and respond to student behaviour. I thank all of you who've helped me so far and welcome thoughts and ideas from everybody who wishes to contribute to that vision. And at this point, can I say how immensely proud I've been to join in the many success stories this year. Just to mention a couple, the recognition of learning and teaching via the Open University Teaching Awards at Charter Day, and our two recent Guardian Awards for OU Anywhere, one for the tech category and the other for the Best Student Experience category. Well done to the individuals and teams responsible for those awards. It's been a busy time within a very complex global environment, and it's within that very complex global environment that our future path lies. So I've been focusing on the current big global trends and what they might mean to our university. What impact will technology, issues around sustainability, geopolitics, mobility, and changing demographics have on our future? Almost nightly on the radio, I hear very frightening statistics about our ageing population and whether the healthcare system will be sufficient to manage the huge bubble of people who will be living longer but will need care. There seems to be a shift in our health issues to increasing social diseases like obesity and heart disease, for example. Computing powers are doubling every 18 months and will continue to do so for the next few decades. There are billions of interactions every day online, and this will only increase. Technologies are making us all more mobile too. Many have 4 or more devices connected to the internet. We are becoming an anywhere and very much any time connected society. Our students are year on year increasingly showing us that they are more mobile too, and we can see how they access their materials via mobile devices. We can't get away from sustainability on so many levels. Food and water are inseparable, and as our populations rise, this should make us pause. Perhaps some of the answer for us can be found in the Higher Education Academy's 6 new pedagogical ideas for the future. Just think about these ideas for a moment and how we might engage with them. Learner empowerment, where we actively involve students in learning development and the processes of co-creation that challenge learning relationships and the power frames that underpin them. Future-facing education, where we refocus learning towards engagement and change processes that help people to consider prospects and hopes for the future across the globe. Decolonising education. This is the deconstruction of dominant pedagogical frames that promote only Western world views to create experiences that extend intercultural understanding in the higher education system. Transformative capabilities, creating an educational focus beyond an emphasis solely on knowledge and understanding towards agency and competence, using pedagogies guided by the engaged whole person and transformative approaches to learning. Crossing boundaries, taking an integrative and systemic approach to pedagogy in higher education to generate interdisciplinary, interprofessional and cross-sectoral learning to maximise collaboration and shared perspective. And of course, social learning. Developing cultures and environments for learning that harness the emancipatory power of spaces and interactions outside the formal curriculum, using new technologies and co-curricular activities. So where does all this leave us? Our students are getting younger. The average age is 29. They have busy social, personal and work lives. The world is a complicated one where they juggle their aspirations with reality. The world itself has some grand challenges and is increasingly complex. There is a shift from receiving content to either co-constructing or even curating their own content. This is significant for academic identity. Is it still sage on the stage, or is it now more guide on the side? Can we let content become a resource that supports learning rather than the focus of the learning? Our students, even the oldest ones, are surrounded by technology and are used to interfaces that support their busy worlds. Social media is the norm and growing. Never before have we been so connected. Peer-to-peer support is powerful and crowdsourcing is here to stay. Just who are the experts now anyway? The currency of the degree as we know it is threatened, and we need to be thinking about the informal pathway as a significant aspect of the learner journey. It is critical that we continue to support our students, and that is why we have a focus on retention and progression. All of our current initiatives in analytics, tuition, learning design and student support teams go in part to address this issue. Our associate lecturers will have an increasingly huge and important role to play. The tuition strategy needs to be thought of as part of the learning design and carefully considered as an aspect key in the learning experience. For me, learning experiences need to be engaging in different ways around a curriculum that embraces connectivity, makes best use of the technologies that our learners already use, and allows them to participate in new ways, including co-constructing and curating their own learning. It also needs to support them in developing the attributes of a really complicated world so they can contribute to alternative futures. It's one thing coming up with the words to describe what we think we need to do here at the Open University. It's quite another thing turning those words into a reality. But I'm convinced that by working together, by sharing ideas with each other, we can make that reality happen. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts with you.